prices rise 3% a year, your money loses about 26% of its buying power in 10 years. So even if you do nothing wrong, you still get poorer. Quietly, that's inflation. Now, let's start at the beginning.
If you are enjoying the video, hit like, subscribe for more, and tell me in the comments, what's your biggest money mistake right now?
Inflation is a broad rise in prices across the economy, not just one item getting more expensive. And the real pain is simple. Your currency loses value over time. You can buy less with the same money. Most countries track inflation using a price index, like the Consumer Price Index, CPI, based on a basket of typical goods and services. But here's the part people miss. Your personal inflation rate can be very different from the official number. If rent is 40% of your spending and rent goes up faster than everything else, then your life is getting more expensive faster. Even if the headline inflation looks fine, you don't beat inflation by hoping, you beat it by building a system. If you just holding your money, they are bleeding. Here are 7 moves to reduce the damage. Stay to the end for the 3 mistakes that make people fall behind for years.
This video is for education only, not financial advice. Always do your own research or talk to a qualified professional before making big money decisions.
Step 1. Calculate your inflation. Quick exercise. Take your last month of spending and split it into 4 buckets: housing, food, transport, everything else. Now ask, which of these is rising fastest for you? Because you don't need a perfect number. You need the truth about where the pressure is so you can attack it.
Step 2. Stop parking long-term money in dead cash. Cash is not evil. Cash is a tool. You need an emergency fund. But money you won't use for years? Leaving it in a low-yield account is basically volunteering for a guaranteed loss in real purchasing power. Here's the mental trap. Cash feels safe because the number doesn't move. But inflation doesn't care that your balance looks stable. If prices rise and your cash doesn't, you're quietly taking a pay cut in what that money can buy. So don't confuse stable balance with stable value. An emergency fund is protection, but a huge pile of long-term cash is usually just fear wearing a finance costume. Rule of thumb: if you won't need the money for years, it shouldn't be sitting in an account paying almost nothing. Because the risk isn't that you lose dollars. The risk is that you lose buying power, and it happens silently. Step 3. Use inflation-resistant cash tools. For money you need soon, months, not decades, use tools that at least fight back. High-yield savings, money market funds, short-term government bills. Options that adjust closer to market rates. Think of this as the waiting room for your money. If the money has a job soon, rent, tuition, a car, a planned trip, you want it safe and accessible. But you also don't want it earning 0% while the world around it gets more expensive. So you're looking for cash tools, not investments. Stuff designed for short horizons. Stuff that's boring on purpose. High-yield savings accounts can move their rates as the market changes. Money market funds are another common place people park short-term cash. Short-term government bills are basically the definition of "I want safe and short." None of these makes you rich. That's not the point. The point is simple. If you must hold cash, at least don't make it dead cash. And keep it clean. Short-term money equals stability first. Long-term money equals growth plan. Mix them up, and you either take too much risk with bills or too little risk with your future.
Step 4. Own assets that can raise prices. Here's the unfair truth about inflation. It doesn't just make things expensive. It quietly rewards the owners. If you only hold cash, you're basically holding an ice cube on a hot day. But when you own productive assets, like shares in real businesses, you own something that can reprice. Because when prices rise, strong companies often do this simple move. They raise prices too. And as an owner, you're on the side that adjusts with the economy instead of getting crushed by it. That's why, historically, diversified stocks have been one of the better long-term ways to stay ahead of inflation. Not because stocks are magic, but because businesses sell real stuff in the real world. Now, quick reality check. Stocks can be a roller coaster. They can drop hard, They can go sideways. They can be annoying for years. But long term, you're not buying a piece of paper. You're buying a slice of real output. And don't try to pick the one perfect inflation stock. Some companies can raise prices. Some get destroyed by higher costs. Some get replaced. So the smarter move is a broad basket, diversification. So one bad story doesn't wipe you out. Want the more direct inflation link? That's where tips come in. The principal adjusts with inflation, and you earn interest on that adjusted amount. Not a get-rich button, more like a don't get quietly erased button. Step 5, increase your earning power. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Inflation is also a career problem. If your income stays the same, you're on a treadmill, and someone keeps turning the speed up every year. A lot of beat inflation advice is just investment advice. Helpful, sure, but the biggest lever you actually control is simpler: what you earn. Because if rent, food, and bills climb while your paycheck doesn't, you don't feel inflation, you feel pressure. So treat your earning power like an asset you build. Pick one valuable skill that pays more in your market. Prove it with real results: projects, numbers, certificates, a portfolio. Then cash it in. Negotiate with evidence, not vibes, or switch to a higher paying role. And a second income stream? It doesn't need to be some flashy hustle culture thing. Small, consistent, boring. The goal isn't ego, it's resilience. So inflation can't push you around every time prices jump. Step 6. Kill high-interest variable debt first. Inflation can sometimes make fixed-rate debt feel lighter over time because you're paying it back with cheaper future money. But high-interest consumer debt, especially variable rate, that's not a hedge. That's a trap with a timer. This is where people get it wrong. A low fixed-rate mortgage can be okay because the payment stays the same while your income might rise. But the moment the interest is high or floating, the math flips against you. Credit card debt doesn't get easier with inflation. It gets meaner because compounding doesn't care that groceries went up. It just keeps chewing. And variable rates can rise at the exact worst time, when everything else is rising too. So you get squeezed from both sides. Higher prices plus higher interest. So the rule is simple. If the debt is high interest and flexible, kill it fast. Not because debt is bad, because it's expensive math, and inflation makes that math even ugly. Step 7. Automate a simple 3-bucket system. If you only do one thing after this video, do this. Create 3 buckets. 1. Bills, must pay. 2. Future you, investing. Long term. 3. Guilt-free spending, fun without sabotage. Then automate it on payday. Future you money moves first. Bills are covered, and what's left is yours, without anxiety. This works because it removes daily willpower from the equation. Inflation is constant, so your system has to be constant too. And here's why it's so effective. It prevents the invisible leak. When prices rise, you don't feel one big hit. You feel 100 small ones. Slightly higher groceries, slightly higher fuel, slightly higher subscriptions. And if you're managing money manually, those small hits quietly eat the money you meant to save. Automation flips the order of your life. You don't try to invest if there's something left. You invest first because future you is a bill. Then you live on what's left, which forces your spending to adapt without a constant internal fight. Also, the guilt-free bucket matters. If you remove all fun, your plan breaks. You rebound. You binge spend. You quit. So keep a controlled lane for spending that doesn't sabotage your future. That's not weakness. That's sustainability.
3 mistakes people make. Mistake number 1. Keeping too much cash just in case for years. Emergency fund is smart. Permanent fear fund is expensive. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe for more videos like this, and tell me in the comments, what's the topic you would like to see next? Mistake number 2. Chasing inflation-proof hype assets without understanding risk. If you don't understand how it makes money, you're not investing, you're hoping. Mistake number 3. Ignoring lifestyle inflation. If your spending rises as fast as your income, you'll feel broke at any salary.